Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a fabulous Monday. Today I'm coming to you with a weekly Minks Monday Q&A. Before we get started, let me share the bag that I'm currently rocking, and that is the Louis Vuitton Clooney BB. And can I just say, you guys are absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. And I cannot thank you enough for all of the wonderful and all of the sweet comments that you left on last week's video about possibly stopping Minks Monday after 250. And I was overwhelmed with emotion reading all of your comments, and I cannot tell you how much they mean to me. You guys are so sweet. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, you know. And I was just so nervous that it was starting to get really repetitive, you know, but after reading everything that you guys had to say, I am happy to come on here and let you know that Minks Monday isn't going anywhere. So without further ado, let's get this show on the road, shall we? Starting with the first question from Milan. Do you ever feel like there's something wrong with you because you don't like a bag that everyone is raving about? I got a Chanel flat bag, and I have to be honest, I absolutely hate it. It's so not my style, but just about every bag collector on YouTube raves about it. What's wrong with me? This is a fabulous question, and first and foremost, there is nothing wrong with you. Absolutely nothing wrong with you. Because some of these popular bags won't be for everybody's taste, and they won't be for everybody's needs either, and that's totally fine, because it always comes down to personal preference. Now, sometimes the hype is real, and other times the hype can be absolutely blinding when it comes to a lot of these popular handbags, or when someone says that this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, you have to have it type of situation, you know? I know that we've talked about this in the past, you know, but it always comes down to what you like and if it ends up working out for your lifestyle. And it can also get to the point where you end up questioning your eyesight. And you're looking at it like, is there something that I'm not seeing? Is there something that's supposed to happen? Or you might even question your sanity and say, am I crazy? Because I don't get it. I don't get why people like this. I don't get why people like that type of thing, you know, but beauty is definitely in the eye of the beholder, and everyone is going to go for a bag for a different reason, whether because they like the silhouette, whether they like the history, or it's a combination of both, or whatever the case may be. You know, one of the bags that I know is super popular right now that isn't for me is the Dior saddlebag. I am not fond of the structure by any means whatsoever. It's very similar to the Louis Vuitton croissant bag that I had ages ago. And I know a lot of people really like it. A lot of people are just crazy about that bag, you know? And while I can appreciate some things about it, personally, like I said, it's just not for me. But I am happy for those that do own it and absolutely love the bag. In some cases, I do chalk it up to the hype because like I said before, sometimes it is real and other times it's a complete facade, you know? But it's all a matter about how that person feels. Because a lot of these bags, while they might be beautiful, they might not necessarily function for our everyday lifestyles or for our needs, you know? And for example, let's say that you're the type of person that absolutely loves a crossbody bag. That's what you gravitate towards. That's what you feel the most comfortable in. And that's what you like to rotate the most, you know, within your collection. And then you end up hearing that the it bag is a top handle bag that doesn't have a crossbody option. And everyone is saying, oh, you have to get it. You have to get it. It's this, it's that. And they build such a hype around it that you start to kind of push away the reservations that you would normally get towards it. And you're thinking, well, maybe I should get it because, you know, so many people are talking about it. So that's why I say that sometimes the hype can be a good thing and other times I don't think it's necessarily the best thing out there. So like I said, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you, you know? And if you don't end up using that bag, personally, I would end up selling it and put that money towards a bag that you absolutely love. So I don't know if this ends up helping you out, but I'm curious, what bag is out there that you guys know is super popular that you're not fond of? Let us know in the comment section down below. But fabulous question, and hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question, Loa Christensen and Jen Brandel had similar ones, so I put them together. You always say that you're such a sneakerhead, so do you have or are you planning on adding any Golden Goose sneakers? By the way, they are fantastically comfortable. All right, so let me insert a picture of these sneakers for reference. Okay, Golden Goose sneakers. You are so right. They are crazy comfortable, and I am literally 50-50 when it comes to these shoes, because I do appreciate so many different aspects about this brand. I love that you have so many different styles to choose from. You have high top, low top. You have some that are a little bit more simple. You have some that are crazy, crazy gaudy, some that are filled with glitter, others that are filled with crystals. So the magpie in me is just saying, yes, bring on the glitter, bring on the crystals type of thing. Now, the reason why I'm 50-50 on them is because the other part of me, one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to sneakers is that they end up looking trashed, is that they end up looking really beat up, really, really worn, you know? So as many of you know, with Golden Goose sneakers, they already have that worn look. Now, I understand that that's the look that they're going for. So I completely understand that, but I'm just like, why? Why couldn't you just leave them be and let me take care of trashing them or making them look used or what have you? You know, so it's like, oh, I don't know if I can get past that. And especially because of the price point that they are and the fact that they do look so worn out does kind of bother me, you know, but I go back and forth because I've already tried them on, you know, so I've kind of started to lean towards that. But when I do, it's like my pet peeve starts to kick in. It's like, no, they look used, they look worn, they look this. So am I gonna sit here and say I'm not gonna buy them? No, because that would be a lie. But I'm still 50-50. So I don't know if my pet peeve is going to eclipse my love for gaudiness and my love for glitter, or if it's gonna be vice versa, you know? And I especially love the crystal ones. Let me insert a picture of those. The crystals are huge and they catch the light, I mean, incredibly, but the price point on them, I believe they're $16.25. And I'm just like, that's why I said, just leave them be and let me take care of them type of thing, you know? So I don't really like the worn out look, but here's the funny part, because even though I don't want that on my sneakers, I am totally okay with having the worn out look on my denim. You know, because as many of you know, I have so many pairs of denim that have tears, that have holes, and I absolutely love them. It looks like I've had them for a century, you know, and I wouldn't trade them for anything in the world. So it's like, okay, you're okay with denim looking like that, but not with sneakers, like I'm crazy, you know? And my very good friend Sandy, she actually, she posted a picture on Instagram. She got a pair of Golden Goose sneakers in this beautiful, beautiful red glitter. I am not even kidding you. They look exactly like Dorothy's shoes in The Wizard of Oz. And you guys know how much I love that movie. So I'm like, should I do it? Should I do it? Should I not? So as of right now, still 50-50. So for those of you that do have them, what do you think? Should I get them? Should I just continue to kind of stay on the fence on them or what have you? Either way, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on them because they are comfortable and they are gorgeous. I just don't really like, the worn out look that they have. But either way, fantastic question, and hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Christy Mills. I was curious on your thoughts on velvet bags. I walked by the Gucci store this past weekend and the new pre-fall velvet backpack caught my eye. I'd love to hear what you think. All right, so there are so many different kinds of velvet and some are extremely durable, and I think that a lot of these fashion houses that come out with these velvet bags, they look absolutely incredible. I think they look beautiful, you know? And one thing that I really appreciate about velvet is that it's not easy to snag, especially for that type of fabric. You know, because usually when it comes to fabric bags, you always have to worry, okay, well, if it ends up snagging, if it ends up having a loose thread or what have you. So I love the fact that it's not easy to snag. I love how soft it is, but more than anything, I love the way that this material captures the colors, especially when it comes to vivid, vibrant colors such as red, pink, orange, and yellow. So I think that's great. Now, as much as I appreciate certain aspects, personally, it is not for me. Now, I know I said that some of the materials are extremely durable. I am just not too fond of once the velvet starts to rub off, that you have those patches left over. I really don't like the way that that looks. I've also heard some people say that you have to be careful when it comes to cleaning off any types of stains, like if you have dirt, because if you end up using hard water to clean them off, it might make the stain a lot more noticeable. or you might end up having like a white residue from the water, so it kind of looks like a water stain left on the velvet. So that's another thing to take into consideration, you know. But like I said, there are so many different kinds of velvet, and I do appreciate how beautiful it is, and I do appreciate the softness and how it captures the color. It's just personally not for me. But if the velvet backpack speaks to you, by all means go for it. And I'm curious, for those of you that do have velvet bags in your collections, how do you find them to wear? Do you recommend them? Is there something that you do to protect the velvet so that way it ends up lasting a lot longer? Let us know in the comment section down below. So if you do end up getting your backpack, congratulations. And once again, let us know in the comment section down below any information that you have on this material. But fabulous question, and hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Ash MCC. Whatever happened to the red Gucci card holder you had to send back? Oh man, okay. So for those of you that follow me on Instagram, you've already heard the little mini rant or the PSA that I did on my IG stories. But for those of you that don't know, I ended up purchasing the Gucci Marmont card holder in the color red, the same red as my Princetown loafers. I bought it on their website. I was so excited because it doesn't have the heart on the backside, and I absolutely love that color. So I was excited. I purchased it online, and long story short, when I got the item, when I got it in the mail, the card holder actually had parts of the leather completely like worn off, and it had pop stitching. So I was like, what? This is already damaged. So when you do buy something from their website, like most other companies, they send you a return shipping label. So I figured instead of having to ship it through the mail, I could just go down to the boutique, pick out another one, exchange it for one that isn't damaged, right? So I also figured that I would call customer service just to give them a heads up, just to kind of put it on my account notes or what have you, so that way I didn't have any issues when I went to return it at the store. So I was wrong. I was wrong. That's not the way that it went down, because when I called customer service, she said, well, you can't return damaged items to the boutique. And at first I couldn't understand like what was going on, because I said, no, I didn't damage it. I literally just got it. And she said, I understand that, but you can't send damaged items to the boutique. You have to send them back to the warehouse. And I just thought it was kind of odd, because I was thinking, okay, if I send it back to the warehouse, by the time you get it, by the time you look it over, make sure, you know, you quality control it or what have you, if you will, and then they send it back, it would be like a week and a half. So I thought that was a little bit much of an inconvenience. So I thought, no, there's no way they do that, right? So we kind of went back and forth like a million times. I actually ended up calling back 4 times. I spoke to 4 different, you know, customer service representatives, and they all told me the exact same thing. So I do applaud them for their consistency. But I still thought there was no way that I should have to send it back through the mail. Like, why can't I go into the boutique? And she just kept saying, well, we don't sell damaged items at the boutique. Well, obviously, I know that, but why wouldn't you just ship it back and then I could get a new card holder, right? I don't know. I actually ended up calling the boutique where I wanted to exchange it at, and I spoke to the manager, and the manager said the exact same thing, you know? And one thing that I did bring up, I said, okay, so let me just ask you a question. Let's say that I bought something at the boutique today, and let's say that it was damaged. Can I bring it back tomorrow and exchange it for something that isn't damaged? And he said, absolutely. So I was like, so what is the difference if I buy it online and I come to the store? It's the same company. And I didn't want to go down there and just cause a scene or anything like that. So it left such a bad taste in my mouth. I was so frustrated that for a hot second, I thought about just selling all of my Gucci items. And then I realized that, that I really liked the pieces that I had. So I was like, calm down, Minnie, calm down. But I thought that was kind of silly. You know, and I know that every company does their own thing, and, you know, for whatever reason, they want to have maybe a paper trail as to why it goes back to the warehouse. So I get that, but I just feel like it's such an inconvenience to go through with it. And in the first place, you shouldn't be sending out products that way. My voice got super high, right? Anyways, so I was like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So I ended up just, I sent it back through the mail. I didn't have any issues. I wrote this whole long thing on the packing slip saying that I spoke to this person, I spoke to that person, because even then they said it is subject to their, not interpretation, it is subject to their, what does she say? like they have the final say if I can return it or not. So I was like, wait a minute, you're not gonna send me something damaged and then turn around and say, well, sorry, you just gotta keep it. There's no way. So I wrote this long thing of who I spoke with, the time that I spoke with them, because I am that type. I will write down names and times just to cover all of my bases. But yeah, I know that was a little long-winded, but it was kind of crazy. And I know a lot of people on Instagram were like, you know, I've never had any issue. I've been able to return something from online into the boutique, which I think is amazing, you know, but unfortunately that wasn't my experience. And they were extremely consistent in my scenario, which is good to a certain extent because some companies don't have that. But I don't know. So as of right now, I just kind of pumped the brakes. I returned it, and I don't foresee myself getting it anytime soon, which is a bummer because that color is gorgeous and it has a great price point as well. But it just left such a bad taste in my mouth. So yeah, that's a little mini story of my return of the Gucci card holder. So it's a little bit of a PSA. So just be careful if you do buy something online, and if it is damaged, you might run into the same problem or the same issue. Hopefully you don't, but just a little information out there. So so hopefully that was able to give you guys a little bit of I don't know, a little bit of feedback on my situation with Gucci. Next question from Kelly Wilder. I'm trying to figure out what kind of Louis Vuitton scarf or shawl to buy for my upcoming Christmas trip to Northern Europe. I'm a Florida girl, so I'm not sure if the shine or denim shawls will be warm enough to wear a scarf, or whether I should just buy the Logomania scarf. What are your thoughts? All right, so I did bring them both out, so we have a little bit of eye candy. This is the Logomania in the color Voo Rose, if I'm not mistaken, and this is the denim, and this is in the noir. I absolutely love them both, and I actually end up using the denim a lot more often than the other one, just because of where I live. Now, when we ended up going to London, I opted to use the denim, and it was perfect. It wasn't too hot, it wasn't too thin. I was very, very comfortable. I had a few layers, nothing too much, and we did experience quite a bit of rain, and still this one was awesome. I didn't have any issues with it whatsoever. Now, it really depends on how far north you are going, especially during that time frame, because I imagine that you will experience quite a bit of snow. So because of that, personally, if it was me, I would end up going for the Logomania, just because it is a little bit warmer. Not saying that this one wouldn't be great, especially if you have quite a bit of layers, but I would personally end up going for this one. However, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of experience when it comes to colder weather at all. But I turn to you guys. For those of you that do live in Northern Europe, for those of you that do live somewhere where you experience quite a bit of colder weather, let us know which one out of the two you recommend, or if there's another one that she should take a look at. Either way, I welcome your guys' opinions. I welcome your guys' advice. Or I think that with layers, this one would be okay, whereas maybe you don't have to wear as many layers with this one, and it'll still be very, very warm, you know? But those are just my 2 cents, and I'm super excited for you. I hope you have a blast, safe travels, and I can't wait to see what people have to say. But fabulous question, and hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Lana Cogshell. Hopefully I said that correctly. 2 questions. Number 1, do you know about when Louis Vuitton started using the more supple canvas? I did research on this and I couldn't find too much information out there, so unfortunately I don't have a specific date or a certain date that I can tell you guys that when it was first introduced to the fashion house. Personally, I feel that it was right around 4 years ago. And the reason why I think it's around that time frame is because the Pochette Métis comes to mind. When that bag was initially launched, the canvas was very stiff in comparison to the second year that it was available. By that second year, I felt that it was a lot more flexible, and even from canvas pieces 4 years ago to now, they're completely different. So that's why I think that back then, or 4 years ago, is when they started to move in that direction. But like I said before, I could be completely wrong, so I don't want to give you guys false information, but that's what I think. But if any of you guys know exactly when it was first launched or when it was first introduced, let us know in the comment section down below, because I would be very curious to know the answer as well. All right, so number 2, would you consider doing a review on Luxe lip balms? Yes, I have thought about doing this video many of times. The only thing that kind of holds me back from doing it is because the majority of my lip balms are colorless. So I wouldn't necessarily be able to swatch them or anything like that. I mean, I could tell you guys if they're moisturizing, if I've repurchased them and things like that, but I don't know. I feel like I have to swatch it, you know, and you're not going to be able to see much on camera. So if you guys can think of any way that I can kind of go around it, I have tried, you know, thinking of this way and that way, and to no avail. So if you guys have an idea, let me know in the comment section down below, because I would love, love, love to do that. I mean, I love handbags and I can talk about them forever and a day. And I feel like I could do the same thing with lip products. So whether it's lip balms or lipsticks, you know me, I am a lip junkie, but I think that would be pretty amazing. So unfortunately, I didn't have an answer for you for the first one, but hopefully, some of you guys do know the answer, and again, let us know in the comment section down below. But fantastic questions, and hopefully I was able to answer them. And the last question from Anna Maria: what are your thoughts on Louis Vuitton's handbags that do not line up at the stitching? I'm specifically referring to the Graceful MM and the PM. All right, so sometimes it bothers me, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes my OCD kind of kicks into high gear, because I will admit I do like a handbag that has a symmetrical design, a symmetrical pattern. You know, I love being able to see everything line up exactly where it's supposed to. I get a ton of satisfaction out of that. But at the same time, there are so many different sizes that sometimes it's just not possible to have everything line up the way that it's supposed to, you know? So for the most part, it doesn't really bother me, you know, but sometimes I get that little, oh, I really wish it was even, but I won't turn a handbag down or anything like that. And I actually get this question quite a bit on Instagram, and I know exactly what you're talking about, the Graceful, because they do cut off some of the flowers and they do cut off some of the monogram, but as long as you have that mirror image on one side and then the other, I think it's okay, but it's definitely a matter of personal preference. But I really want to know, how do you guys feel about the designs kind of matching up? Do you prefer it to line up, or are you just kind of like, you know what, I couldn't care less? Let us know in the comment section down below. But great question, and hopefully I was able to answer it. All right, you guys, so that does it for Minks Monday Q&A. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope I was able to help. You guys had some awesome questions this week. You will see me later on. I don't know if it's going to be Friday or Saturday, but regardless, you will see me one other time. But again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you would like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys later. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not. The choice is yours. Have a great day.